We are now joined by historian Xiao Chua to talk about the life and the legacy of Juan, Ponce, and Enrile. Good evening, Xiao. Welcome to the big story again.
Makasaysayang araw, ladies, and to all our listeners.
Good evening. It is one for the books set definitely today. And as we just read, Juan Ponce Enrile was, of course, a political force like no other. But how do you, a historian, remember him?
Well, first of all, he was a public servant. He served in government for many years. And in many of those years, he showed that yung sterling intelligence in public service. No? Of course, unfortunately, the problem, alam mo, he had great promise when he started because he was very young when he was placed in the cabinet of Marcos. He was one of the friends of Rafael Salas. And Rafael Salas, and even if he was older, considered Rafael Salas a mentor. Unfortunately, when he became defense secretary, he became one of the architects co-authored with Marcos the proclamation of martial law, even years before it was proclaimed, and he became the chief implementer of that. Unfortunately, also, he became too powerful, I guess, very young, too powerful, and he was able to also amass a lot of businesses while in government, which became problematic because eventually that would also, people would also point out to human rights violations that happened during the regime, not just in martial law, but also while protecting some of the forests where there were like slugging business and all of that, like what happened in Sangod in Las Navas, Sabah. There were times that he redeemed himself, like in the People Power Revolution. There were moments like sterling moments like during the Corona impeachment where he showed such grace and legal prowess and wonderful wisdom when it comes to law and legality. But there were also times when it was disappointing, when he led coup d'etat against a popularly elected leader many times that it's the effect on the economy is staggering. So, and then of course after that there were accusations of corruption. So yes, we grieve with the family now. It's very sad, but I believe we also have to learn lessons from his long life. I mean, it's very hard to simplify his life. He's 101 or 103 years old. Even in death, we really do not know his age. Yeah. He's a mysterious guy. He is a very enigmatic guy. And we also have many Enriles. His propensity to change his version of history every now and then, he would be a fascinating figure to study for many years to come. But for now, we have to reflect on some of the good things that he had done, but also on the immense effect that he did to our society, in our institutions. This is really a time of reflection.
One of those reflections, Xiao, that I've been seeing online, some people call him the president we never had because of a spat, supposedly, with Danding Cojuangco also, who has passed away. What do you remember from that time in history? I think that was early 90s.
Well, after the People Power Revolution, and then of course the 1987 Constitution was ratified, 1992 was the first presidential elections. And of course, there were many candidates. The pro-Marcos candidates were not able to field one single candidate. So there was Danding Cojuangco, Imelda Marcos, and there was, of course, if I'm not mistaken, Johnny Ponce Enrile was also ran in that race. So they were not able to win. Enrile did not win. He tried many times to become president, but there's so many things that hounded him during his lifetime. That's why I guess he wasn't able to amass popular. He was most popular after EDSA Revolution. But of course, after that, he made the decision to hold out against the regime of Aquino because of of many differences, I guess. And the only problem was he challenged her not just through electoral politics, but also through the dangerous game of military adventurism, which only takes toll to our economy.
Yeah, and he also, like you were saying, toward the end of his life, which was still maybe a decade ago, he did release a book. A lot of critics of Juan Ponce Enrile said, oh, this is his way of whitewashing, and this is how he wants to be remembered. I wonder if you ever read that book, and what were your takeaways?
Well, it's a very interesting book. It covers a lot of anecdotes, because Enrile had a very interesting life, and I guess a lot of the things that were written there were true based on his memories. But there are many major contentious issues, like, for example, the ambush, which became the one of the precipitating factors that Marcos used to declare martial law. He admitted in the EDSA People Power Revolution, when he bolted out from the regime, that it was staged by Marcos himself, and they staged it together. But after some time, he also changes his tone in the memoir, and also during his interview with Bongbong Marcos during the 2022 campaign, he basically dismissed and gaslighted the many victims of human rights violations by saying that there was no human rights violations that happened during the Marcos regime. So I guess when he acknowledged a lot of these things during his time, during People Power Revolution, when he bolted out against that there was a problem during the Marcos dictatorship. So these are the things that makes his versions of history problematic. But again, brilliant guy and an interesting life it was.
Well, Xiao, a lot of people would even say that his political life really swung like a pendulum. I mean, how do you think he became such an enduring personality in politics, considering that at such a young age? In an interview with Cesar Lon, he even said that he thought he wouldn't amount to anything. He thought his life would just be as an ordinary fisher folk in Cagayan. But now his name is, is quite historical already. He lived through many historical events.
I'll tell you something. We might, all of us will have different ideas about Juan Ponce Enrile, but there's one thing that all of us will agree. Juan Ponce Enrile is consequential in our history. He is in many ways inevitable. Inevitable in many ways because he plays the game of politics very well. He is a survivor. He survived everything. And because of that, in many ways, he is a picture, he is a reflection of Filipino politics. How you can survive it with a lot of talent, intelligence, but in many ways it's also sad because there was impunity. Well, he was imprisoned for quite some time and had all these charges. And well, my wish is really I'm not really a righteous person. I mean, I'm not perfect, but all of us will meet our Creator soon, and I do hope that all of us will gain peace.
Right.
We meet our Creator, including Seven.
Wag naman sana soon, Xiao. But well, yes, we will all meet our creators one day. But you're absolutely right. It's such a complicated legacy to parse through, right? And you're right, he did change sides a number of times. I mean, first and foremost with Ferdinand Marcos Sr., who was his patron, right? He defected and joined the People Power movement in 1986. But you said at the start that you think that there are a lot of lessons to be taken away about his life, from his life. What are these lessons?
Well, first, you can be very intelligent, but how do you use that intelligence? I'm not saying that Mr. Enrile did only bad things. I'm only saying that there were times that he used this intelligence. I guess he also believes for the good of the country. I'm not going to strip his role in the People Power Revolution because he was consequential to that, to the success of the People Power Revolution, which is one of our greatest legacies in the world. But I do wish that after EDSA revolution, he was able to stand his ground to defend democracy and not to really, you know, join all this military adventurism and all of that. But I mean, let them, not join, let them. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Okay, really, it's one of those topics that we could go on and on about, certainly, because there's just it's not black and white. It's far from, and as you said, it's such a complicated legacy. But we do extend our condolences to the Enrile family at this point in time. Thank you so much for talking to us tonight at such short notice at that, historian Xiao Chua.